Hey everybody, happy Memorial Day. Elizabeth Nader back with you with the Nader Narrative. I am thrilled to have a wonderful person with me tonight. Jennifer Makar, welcome to the Nader Narrative.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm so happy to be here. Appreciate all your support in this. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Jennifer, for those that don't know, and they'll know soon over the next few minutes to get to know you, you're running for New Jersey Assembly and District 21, which includes Union, Somerset, and just a tiny bit of Morris County. So you are facing the primary next Tuesday. And because it's Memorial Day, I thought you would be a great person to bring on live tonight as we celebrate freedoms that are brought to us by people that have sacrificed. And I know you are a freedom warrior. So I want to tell your story. I am hopeful people will be able to listen to this far and wide and understand who you are. So Jennifer, let's start with some background about your life, who you are, and really why did you decide to get into this race?
Thank you. So absolutely. So a little bit about myself. I've always lived in Union County, and I was born and raised in Jersey. I went to William Patterson University, graduated with a psychology degree. I work in the pharmaceutical industry, and I serve in the Coptic Orthodox community. I am a Sunday school teacher. We serve homeless outreach, prison worship, and my whole life is surrounded, and I'm just passionate about service and helping others and lifting them up. So that's just a little bit about me. Why I decided to run was because, just like everyone else, they've just had it, what's going on in New Jersey.
Right.
And I think that the best way to, make a change is to step up and get involved. Part of it was the education system in the state.
Right.
We're moving backwards and the kids are not getting the right education that they need. And I feel that, what's left for the parents is not much. They're not really they're not allowed to parent because the school has taken over things like sex education,
Right.
which is not fair because that's a family thing. That's a home thing.
Right.
It's not the place of the school to be teaching anything like that. So, that's what started it. I don't have children myself, and I think God is using me and my singleness to step forward and fight for those who can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that's really unique about you is your background, your ethnic background, Egyptian Coptic, which some people may not be familiar with, but just talking to you and getting to know you, it's pretty clear that your faith and the experience of your family and really where you come from over time has influenced you in the way you see the world. I want you to share that with people because I think it's fascinating and it really sets you apart.
Yeah, so my family came here from Egypt in the 70s. And me and my brothers were born here, but the Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt is very oppressed, very highly persecuted. And when we come to America, we're very proud and, we appreciate the freedom, not only appreciate it, but hold it to a very high level of love and respect. And it's something that we don't really have back home. So to be able to work in government, be professors, get an education without discrimination, being able to wear a cross even on our necks or go into church and not worry about something happening. That's all something we take for granted here.
Yes.
And people coming from Egypt, it's very emotional when they, become citizens or, just being able to do something where they couldn't do it in Egypt.
Right.
So my family, was very passionate about coming here and building a life, making the American dream a reality. So that's all it's part of what I believe is a strong, something that in me that has made me, very passionate about like service and things and to my community and things like that.
And just really appreciating the freedoms that we have, right? Yeah. So I know you've talked about your passion for, the freedom of religion, which is, should be a no-brainer in this country, but lately that's been challenged in the past year, our freedom to worship. And these are things that what you're saying basically, and Americans that are born here, we take for granted. You come from an area of the world where it's not obvious that you can wear a cross. It's not obvious that you can worship without being killed at times. It's just been really difficult over there. And I want you to talk about the Arab Spring. We talked about that earlier. It happened during the Obama era, but some things that you witnessed from your homeland in terms of what they went through and how that shaped the way you see things in America.
Yeah, so what happened was during the revolution in Egypt in 2011, there was a young gentleman who had been doing drugs or whatever he was doing and arrested, and he happened to die in the hands of the police. Right. And it was all caught on tape, similar to what happened here with the George Floyd situation. And it was a situation where they were calling for the defunding of police in sanctuary cities. And, we were watching the news from Egypt, and it was almost as if the news was happening all over again here. Wow. And it was very similar situations. And I think that, just having the defunding of police situation is a major issue. We don't realize how, horrible it could be for a nation or a community or a state, especially like New Jersey. But, we witnessed the same exact situation, and it was very similar in how they ousted the president over there. And things were just happening very closely to what was going on during the Arab Spring in Egypt, around, in Tunisia and other places. Right. So it was just a mirror of what was going on. And we just said, oh, well, this is going to go down very quickly. And it did. I mean, we saw a lot of the same situations, very unfair dealing to, at the time, President Trump and how he was dealing with things. And it was just all very familiar and just wrong at the same time. We couldn't believe that it was happening.
Yeah, what a strange experience for you to watch that, having watched that happen in Egypt as well many years before. So needless to say, I'm going to assume that you are a big supporter of law enforcement.
Absolutely. I mean, we need to respect them. We need to teach our kids how to respect and, give authority its due presence and due respect. They need to be treated well, and maybe they need to be more funded, not defunded at all.
Sure. So really related to freedoms, because today is Memorial Day is a big deal. It really is in this country. It's a shame that our president and vice president didn't give it its due as we're used to, but it is a big deal. And part of that freedom is for us to decide how we worship, what and who we worship, and also how we deal with things like medical choices. Medical freedom is now a major issue, Jennifer, especially in this country overall, but especially in New Jersey. So please share with us, because I believe this is one of the most important aspects of all of the races that we're seeing in New Jersey this year, Assembly, Senate, and governor race. Where do you stand on the issues surrounding medical freedom?
I think it's a shame that they think that they can control our bodies. I'm absolutely for freedom of our own choice to do what we want to do. And I think that anything that's mandated is against our First Amendment liberties. So we should be fighting that at all costs, because once we lose that, we lose any opportunity to be ourselves or be individuals. So we need to fight this mandatory anything, this even just to walk in a place and be forced to wear a mask. I mean, I think that's ridiculous.
Right.
It should be, if it's going to be if it's my body, it's my choice, right? They're going to argue that. Well, then we should argue it the same way. Right. I mean, it's not anyone's choice what happens to me. And this is a God-given, right. So we need to be able to, it's not only a freedom, it's a religious thing too.
Yes.
So we have to fight that at all costs.
Right. So a year ago, more than a year ago, we started into this pandemic, and, looking back over what's happened, how do you see it? What would you have done differently? And how do you look at our assembly body, our Senate body, in terms of how they have reacted to this governor?
I think that we didn't stand up enough to Governor Murphy. And I think that our small businesses, suffered a lot.
Yes.
We needed to support them more. We should have done a little bit more to get them, up and going either quicker or never have closed in the beginning. That's
Right.
my opinion.
Right.
And, this whole idea of the 14 days or whatever they were telling us in the beginning, it ruined so many businesses, so many lives, so many
Yes.
families. So, I mean, that's what I would have done differently. I would have never closed, honestly. I would have, maybe tried to do something different, like watch how successful other places were
Yeah.
and maybe followed in their direction.
Yeah.
Of course, anyone that was in that place probably didn't know what was going to come. But at the same time, we weren't really following science. We were just following this idea of, well, I'm in charge and here's an executive order for that, an executive order for this. But we weren't really, focusing on the people. It was
Right.
more about power. And
Right.
that's a shame.
Yeah. Well, it's been hard to know what the science is. So I find that funny when I hear the governor talk about following the science, because I'm not sure what science he is following. And we were all willing to flatten the curve for 14 days.
Yeah.
But here we are, day 400 something. I've lost track of it. Bill Spadey keeps track of it. So I got to listen tomorrow and see what day it is. But it's way, way, way beyond. There are some people in the assembly who have fought, but to no avail. This week is a big week, Jennifer. There is a bill that we are aware is now coming again to the floor, which will give the governor, codify his powers, give him even more power in return for him lifting this state of emergency. How do you feel about those bills that are pending?
I think that we need more people in the assembly to fight this. I think we need to get more people to stand against what Murphy's doing. He's going to ruin this state if we don't, step forward. I mean, there's a lot of voices out there, but we just need to be a little bit louder and just get out there. And, I know that there was a lot of protests going on last time they were trying to fight it. And I feel that, the more we get out there and argue this, the better chances we are of getting our state back.
It's funny. I totally agree with you. It's getting old, though, how much we have to protest. I said to somebody the other day, everybody wants to put their megaphones away and go home. Not everybody wants to be in politics 24/7, but it just feels like now the people that are representing us, not all of them, but many of them, it's hard for us to trust them. So we have to show up in Trenton. We have to yell and scream. We have to write emails. We have to make phone calls. This needs to stop. At some point, we need to trust the people that we put into office, that they will stand up for us and protect our freedoms. It seems like it's just a basic American thing. How do we get so far from this that we need now to be fighting on the lawn of Trenton all the time and screaming for our rights?
Well, you know what, Elizabeth, I think that just like the people fought for this country, for the freedom, we have a duty to fight here. So we shouldn't get tired and we should stand strong and continue to fight.
Yeah.
This is our battle. Our battlefield is right here. It's at home. And I think that, we should stand up for the people fighting across the seas, and maybe just this is our way of showing them that, we're going to stand here and fight here while you fight over there.
Yeah.
So it's never going to stop. We always have to fight, and it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I love that. You are right, and it's in our DNA. It definitely is. What is it about New Jersey that you love? Because clearly, if you're running for office, you must feel passionate about this state. It's no small thing to choose to run for office. What is it about New Jersey and its people that's got you motivated to make change?
We're so original. Like, just talking to people here, everyone has a story, and I'm sure everywhere else is the same. But I just feel like, we do stand together. I mean, I feel there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of good services and a lot of people that care, and they don't want to see the state go down. They don't want to see it another California. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see a Cuba or a Venezuela here. They just want to see, the state lifted, the people lifted. And I'm a big fan of New Jersey, not only the people, but I do love the fact that we have a beautiful landscape. New Jersey has everything. From the mountains to the beaches, we have all 4 seasons. Yeah. So we got to fight, not only because of the people, but, it's a beautiful state, and it's a, beautiful state that God made for us.
It's worth fighting for, definitely.
Yes.
I agree with you. So Tuesday is the primary. It's a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
You are running against a couple of other Republicans to be on the ticket for November for Assembly. So really, it's important, first of all, that people go vote. We definitely want, registered Republicans out to vote, but we also want them to be educated. So this is an opportunity for you to continue to show how you are different, and you really are. So help people understand what makes you different than the other people on the ballot for Assembly in District 21.
I'm a true conservative. I feel the people running against me or on the ballot are not true conservatives. And, they don't truly represent the people the constituents that are in District 21. We have a moderate and a somewhat conservative, and that's not good enough. We need someone who truly believes the Constitution is above all in this country, not above God, but above anything else. And that, the people are the most important. So we gotta get someone like myself who truly believes that the people here need to be free from anything mandatory in terms of medical, like vaccines or whatever it may be. And we need to be able to speak freely. Like, our freedom of speech is very important to me too. Right. And just support those who are voiceless. I mean, I'm pro-life, and I believe that, that's very sacred. So those are things that I believe and I'm strongly for and stand highly on. Those are the top things on my list there.
So you check the conservative boxes. Pro-life. Are you pro-Second Amendment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, especially because I have family in law enforcement. So that's a big deal for us. I always say that for a lot of people in New Jersey, it's not only a matter of just having protection from the government. It's a matter of life. These people can't get guns and can't get permits or whatever it is, and they have to feed their families. So we need to support these people. And our Second Amendment is very important because we don't know what's going to come down the line. Right. It's a very difficult situation if they're going to take our guns away. So we don't want to be in those shoes later on.
Yeah, in that situation. Well, it's been interesting this past year, I guess, in the experience with Governor Murphy, is that he chose the rights of the state over the rights of the people every time that he could. And I think that's been a shocking experience. And I certainly never anticipated to experience that in my lifetime. I'm sure you didn't as well. Yeah. And many people in your shoes who have family that immigrated here so nearly, right? Not my family came in the 1600s. Your family came much more recently than that. Yeah. You have a closer connection to what it means to lose those freedoms. I think we're on a slippery slope. Do you agree, Jennifer? It's one restriction after another, and we wake up one day and we're no longer free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that once we lose our, liberties and our freedoms, there's no place on earth like America. So we can't be like everyone else. We need to be unique. We need to be that sanctuary place. Yeah. There's no other country like ours. And, our founding fathers did so much, and it's okay for us to fight a little bit. It's okay for us to sacrifice a little bit. We just need to do what they did. Yeah. So, and I think that the only way to do that is to get up every day and say, this is my battle. This is my fight. And, I think we can do it. And I have the faith that in this country, and I have faith in the people that they're going to wake up. And I've seen it. I've seen so many people wake up and want to change and want to do better. And their kids are, appreciating the country, saluting the flag. And it's great. Yeah. It's great to see that. Yeah. So I have faith. I have faith in our people in the state of New Jersey.
We need more people with more faith. And I agree with you. People are definitely waking up. And I've noticed that the issue of civil liberties used to be something the Democrats, they said they owned, but they no longer own it. Yeah. We have become the party of freedom, of individualism and freedom, and the populists and the blue collar and all of that wonderful stuff that makes up America truly is now what the Republican Party stands for. And you are an example of somebody that we can put into Assembly. Jennifer, we've had a hard time as Republicans in the Assembly, but if we can put people like you in there, we can start to turn the tide and turn the numbers and have much more influence on the direction this state goes, rather than continue the same old we've had for so long, Jennifer, in the Assembly. For so long, we haven't had a voice.
Yeah, I think that like the voice should be a voice of being proud to be American. You know, we have to be proud of it, and we have to say it loud and say that we're proud to be from a great state. You know, we were one of the 13 colonies. Let's tell kids about our heritage of this country. Let's
Right.
talk to them about patriotism. Let's talk to them about the wonderful things the founding fathers did, and you know what so many people fought for. Let's not bash this country. Let's teach them how to love their country like every other country does.
Yep.
You know, we're the only ones that don't do that. And I
Right.
think it's very important that, you know, it's part of this whole education thing. Like we got to get them young. We have to start teaching
Yes.
them young how to love this country and and the truth about the country,
Yep.
the truth about what they went through in the beginning stages.
Yep.
So I think that's very important. Absolutely.
We have to learn from history. We have to fight for freedom. You're a fighter. We need that. You're a true conservative. We definitely need that. And you believe in the right for each of us to have the liberty to live the life that we want to live and we dream about. I love your background. I love the fact that you can see this from a global standpoint, and your community as well. The Coptic Christians are such good people. I know that you are a solid individual. I want you to tell people how they can learn more about you and support you. I mean, the primary is only a week away, but this is the time now for them to turn
Yes.
out. So give people information about where they can find out more about you.
Absolutely. So you can find more about me on jennifernj.org. And I'm on Facebook. I'm blasting Facebook all the time. Makar for Assembly. And my private page is Jen MK. And I'm on Instagram, Jennifer NJ. So I'm pretty much everywhere. I got to get there out as much as I can. So, you know, I was out there this morning in parades and, you know, talking to people. So I was just excited to be out for Memorial Day.
Well, you're going to have a busy week. You're going to have a very busy week. But it's worth it. And on behalf of so many people that love your message, I want to thank you for fighting for us, especially for medical freedom, but just in general for our freedoms and being that voice. Anyone in District 21, you've got to check Jennifer out. We need to get her across the line and continue to put people like you in office. So Jennifer, I wish you all the best. We'll be watching to see what happens next week. And everybody check her out, follow her, maybe get a chance to meet her this week. Is your schedule somewhere that you post where you're going to be?
It'll be on Makar for Assembly on Facebook and jennifernj.org.
Okay, awesome. So definitely get out and meet her. I've met her in person. She's amazing, great spirit, great energy, and a fighter. Jennifer, we love that. Thank you so much for taking your time on a holiday to come talk about freedom and standing up for the people of New Jersey. We respect you and we wish you all the best. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And to my audience, guys, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you guys